Hey everyone. If you're like me, you're wondering, tipping your hat, why is this game so damn broken? Even with the introduction of 0 point whatever that they've given us, which is 1.02 to be on a real note, it's not good. And let's be honest and cut to the facts. We have the game artifacting, we have the game glitching out, we have the game feeling like beta. Now, luckily, I did some research and I was really not digging the studio that gave us the Sinking City, and quite frankly, I think it is Big Ben Studio, I believe. But the affiliated portions of those, they've done a very horrible job with giving this game like a what I would like to think of a lack of a really good main role. Like, I think that the main character is very not refined at all. The story is good though. I would like to put that the whole portion of like Cthulhu and all that situation, that stuff is really good, and that disregards of just like the way we can actually interface with the situation. Now, as you can see right here, I'm trying to go into the gameplay. It seems like, is it already like started? No. Yeah. This controller is like so not even doing good right here. So maybe the bug fix that I assumed was going between the controller, but it worked perfectly when I got loaded in last time for as far as this. Now, okay, there we go. Finally starting to. Been acting weird lately. And anyways, what I was getting at before I got distracted, I'm trying to make my controller work. There you go. Kind of what I want you to do, buddy. Lean towards the PlayStation, as it just seems like it is having a very hard freaking day to even do anything. I wonder what the hell's going on. Okay. Oh, pieces of tech to be blocking it from the PlayStation. Maybe? I don't know. I'm swapping controllers at this point in time. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. This is too freaking ridiculous. I'm not gonna tolerate this shit. Okay. So, I will outrule the portion of that. What I'm glad I'm figuring out is possibly a stupid ass controller on the fritz rather than an actual physical implementation of what happened in the 1.02 gameplay that I actually was about to introduce as a prevalent issue that was introduced in there, so I can cross cancel it. Thank you. Glad the controller acted up midstream, but this is not what I'm getting at. We're like 2 to 3 minutes into here. We want patch notes. I want to talk about like randomly thinking that it's not a controller that's like bugging out. So when you look up under it to check the history, mine's already up to date. Now when you look past that, when you go into, let's see, if for instance we go to update history, majority of places will usually leave in this comment section the best case scenario. Everything like Spider-Man. If you go inside of Spider-Man, they're super freaking awesome because it's Spidey and he tells them, hey, you should probably tell the people what's going down. Okay, that seems pretty good. I thought I was having an issue there for a second, just kept scrolling. I was like, what's going on? Anyway, so point being is like, obviously, it seems like I might have to fiddle with the PlayStation. Something is going awry with the controls. Doesn't seem like it necessarily is the Sinking City, but I did have some non-issues with playing it. Okay, so we have this. Let's go to patch. We're going to the patch. I'm gonna figure out what the hell is up with that later on. That's weird. So here we are. Patchland. So one of the things that I got when I was getting into before I just ran into that like really weird ass like controller issue, what was going on between, I don't know, the send of like the Bluetooth or some shit like that, is that I'm running into an issue that seems like I thought there was a lack of them carrying, and they actually do. And when you look down here where it says, hey guys, just want to let you know that, you know, a lot of this frame drops, shuddering, but also combat, passive behavior, they apologize for taking so long, and the team itself has been working on an update. So when they say minor patch, this is not the real patch, I would presume. And if it is, then this game is trash. And I have no problem saying that live. But at the same exact time, if they are working on it and they're trying hard to fix this game, then all right. I'll give you a chance. I'll give you to the next patch. At that point in time, you need to throw down because it's already been 2 weeks since you launched this game, and if you weren't ready, you should never launch this game. I wasted $60, my personal opinion, for a story that's good, for a main character that's so melancholy. He's just like, I don't know if they were just going for the normal Joe that's just really awkwardly weird. But I mean, decent character he is, but he's just not a really strong character. Just like not a Nathan Drake or like a Joel or like, you know, like people that we've come to love, like, you know, like throughout like portions. And I know I did just like fanboy out on Naughty Dog with just naming two of those characters, but obviously those two characters are very rugged and retained to what the story builds were going in two different fields. So I think if they were trying to look for something like this, they should have gotten someone that, I suppose, in a more refined point. It's okay to go through multiple characters before you come down to a final build. I just don't feel like that was the final build. That felt like it was just very rushed. And that's what this whole game feels like, very rushed. I mean, why did you release this? I know you guys and gals pushed it back a lot, but like at this point in time, I mean, if seriously we're afflicted by all these issues and like we're not able to like even like really enjoy or play the game, it's kind of annoying like that, you know, a lot of us just invested into your company and you failed us. So again, I myself, I am not satisfied with this game at all. Mechanics are like 100% tanked. It has like a Final Fantasy like almost like 15 feel to it, but it's like very very buggy. It's riddled with like I've had as I'm gonna pull up here are some scenes that are really prevalent to it. So it's like as you can see right here, like I was showcasing obviously what was the issue with my PlayStation, not necessarily per se what was happening here, but at the same time, we go over here and here you can see is that we're right at an hour, and if we flash forward to 23 minutes, I'm walking around the same place, which is the hospital, and you can see that there's really nothing else that's awry. I'm just kind of normal, and you can see that I'm engaging inside of here. Nothing seems like it's like broken at all. Everyone's in place. You see this girl right here just chilling out right here, having a great time, right? Bear that in mind. So when you go back here and an hour later in the same exact episode, basically there's the doctor and he's just chilling right there, and I make my rounds, and upon this you start noticing that something is very very broken in this video game as we get down to about like 9 minutes and about 41 seconds as I go up the stairwells again and turn up, and we see that the actual NPCs are floating above. They're about a level where they're supposed to be, and when I realized that, I'm like, wait, hold on, that guy's right there normal, but when I look over, he says, let me rest, and I said, sure buddy, and then I'm like, holy crap, look at her, she's floating. It goes on, among other times I've gone in there where the doctor is like levitating in the floor down below as he's sleeping on a bed. So this game is very unrefined, like, and this was a 1.0 to a 1.01 to the 1.02 because I bought this game a few days late and they already rushed and patched it to the 1.01, but 1.02 doesn't necessarily offer any more stability portions for me, at least so far. And if so, then I would like to know what they fixed inside of this, because besides finding a few different things that I can't find outside of the web, and you can kind of see where I'm just like really investigating that. But let's go ahead and close these and we can go directly to Reddit. And even when I looked up updates for there, this was like bone dry. Like this game is really like a niche among indie, and that niche among indie might be its own coffin, and it's great because I feel like the story again is decent. I like to think it's very well worth the playthrough. The main character you're probably going to forget, but like the playthrough you're going to remember through the buggy response of the mechanics alongside with the glitching NPCs down to the portion of what I thought was the more important point, as you can see as a person, like the hot fix that they're trying to get into the portion where the pro users and trying to find in more of I guess adamant portion for the frames. But I guess they need to deliver a product that's a little bit more refined in the portion of pushing forward. So it's like when you look at patches where they continue to stack on top of each other, where they're like, it's almost like artifacting. It's getting worse after worse after worse. And it's like, where does it stop? Where do they finally say, like, let's take about 3 weeks to not make these hot fixes and make these solid fixes in like the gameplay? So like I think they really need to step back and try to fix the game in its entirety because it's not HDR. It looks decent, don't get me wrong. I think for a non-HDR game it looks pretty well off in that situation. But at the same time, the indie coding that they're utilizing is very how can I say this? They're using a heavy filter where me myself, since I encode a lot pretty heavily within my X264, I can tell instantaneously when a gaming company is really polished. Like Red Dead Redemption was a great example, how they basically showcased in their first patch a through of HDR was meh, and I could tell the color differentiable point versus like what they have now, which is real definitional, high definition. It's like, holy crap, that's really good. So it's like, I think that their graphics, they look good, but they're pushing it a little bit more on the encoding portion if you are streaming, in order to where to actually pick up on that, because there are other games I feel do beautiful with the encoding that I'm able to get. But this game does look good, I'll give it that. It looks good, the story's decent, main character's meh, gameplay is horrible. Like obviously, like you will probably get more pissed off at the very big intro because there's lack of drive in a linear portion for an intro. So for myself, if I am going to, let's say, build a game like Red Dead Redemption, it gives you a 3-hour intro. And the reason why I keep bringing this up is because I was getting and building to this point. The 3-hour intro is where you yourself finally get a portion of like the taste of how to get this character, where they refine the Deadeye and go even farther to the portion of where you can really digest your like freaking like your game before going into the open world. They didn't give us this. I feel like you were clawing at anything to figure this game out, and I was just glad that I was like, and I guess I didn't give up, and I was more determined to make my $60 worth something and not give up on that than try to play a good game. And that's the lack of this in this game. This game is not a good game. I do not suggest anyone that's buying this game, and if you did get a physical copy through Amazon, I'd probably say return this game, quite frankly. I say anyone, if you have the opportunity, to return this game right now, and wait until it becomes more patched, more refined, and a lot cheaper for the price that it probably should have been, quite frankly. This is not a $60 title. This is maybe a $20 to $30 title at best, especially in the state it is in right now. I would even discount that more. It, in my opinion, makes No Man's Sky seem very good for day one launches. So take that, Sean Murray. You've beat, in my humble opinion, the Sinking City on day one. But boys and girls, not to keep this a little bit too long, all humor aside, is I've brought down the closest thing I've gotten to the patch. Like literally, this is the only thing on the web. And this is when you get down to tabloids. This is like your freaking like your equivalent to like, you know, like Brad's cheating on Angela again, tabloid crap like you find when you type into patches. Like, and this company's not, I don't know them too much. They're German, so I would like to say yeah, I can trust them. I had to translate all this shit, but it seemed like frame rate was the bigger issue that they were trying to think, so they were trying to make it look smoother. So that's probably what this patch is them just saying, look at our pixels, please buy our game. Like, no, fix your game, make a proper intro, make us love the main character, and then let's talk about a sequel. But for right now, you're probably going to become a cult failure. And I hate to say that because I love HP Lovecraft and I love the concept of what they crafted here. I thought it was beautiful. I was excited. For me as a streamer to pick a game day one and go out of my way to push other games aside is a lot. So this was a huge letdown for me as a gamer and a streamer, and for my community to kind of get that out there. So if you have an opinion on this, if you have other like glitches that are out there that you're kind of like, hey, he did not notice and I've noticed it, it's out there, drop a comment down below. I'd very much like to hear what the masses are saying about this. But this is your boy MacGyver 7th signing out, saying deuces, peace, have a very nice day. I'm going to go ahead and start setting up for a stream. I got to keep awake because I'm going to be buying that new Ryzen equipment probably in about, I look at the timer, I'm like, wait a minute, I have about 5 hours before everything goes live. So I need to, time is of the essence in that regards. So alright everyone, like, share, and subscribe, and your boy Mac will be back later on with more interesting facts as we play through and I figure out what the hell's going on with my PlayStation with the whole weird controller thing. But yeah, anyways, later.